And what is going on tonight, guys? You're probably saying, or if you're like you're saying to yourself, what's going on? What's with the black screen and just the logo and that's it? Well, like I said, tonight's gonna be a little bit of a different night. Uh, it's Autism Awareness Month, and I'm gonna be talking about that tonight. Nobody's popping into the stream. It's just me tonight, and I won't blame you guys if you decide you want to leave. I'm just going to talk about it because it's something that's near and dear to me. And honestly, I never talk about it too much with anybody. Um, it is something that is dear to my heart, and I am going to talk about it tonight. That's really it. Um, I know it's not your normal thing, but what's going on, Brick? So it's not the normal thing I talk about, but I've never really talked about it in the months. What's going on, Danny? So like I said, tonight is Autism Awareness Month episode. I'm not talking Transformers. I'm not talking Legos or anything else, guys. So I'll save you the time of being bored. If you want to head out, I understand. I'm going to keep talking. I'll probably have the stream on for an hour. Um, and I get it. If you don't want to be a part of the stream or the chat and all that stuff, I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's just my thing. So where should I even start to begin? Bear with me too. Also, I just got in a new Transformer from Adam, who I was introduced to by Jimmy G, and I got me. I'll show it next week. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it won't be airing next week. It's WrestleMania weekend, and I got stuff I got to do anyway. So it is what it is. So let's talk autism and what it's about. So I am a parent of an autistic child who's no longer a child. Actually, he is going to be 22 years old. And what's up, Quentin? So my son was born with autism. He's nonverbal. He's been like that all of his life. What's going on, Matt? And it's a heck of a life. It really is. And like I said, the stream's about acknowledging autism awareness. My son's a great kid. He really is. He's got a wonderful personality. Ghost Max can tell you guys that. And I've also worked in the school bus industry, and I have the honor and privilege of transporting special needs kids, from their houses to the schools. Some can be rough, some can be awesome, but I'll tell you right now, even the ones that are rough, I'd rather do a special needs run than, to be honest with you, high school, middle school, and elementary kids. And I tell that to everybody, and they're like, "Why do you say that?" I mean, don't you worry about getting beaten up? Don't you worry about getting lashed out? And it's like, no, because that's something that they can't control. It's something that it's hard to live with. And parents out there, if you know anything, and whatever, dude, I don't even know what you just said. But here's the deal: I'm in control tonight, and bye comment. Like I said, anybody who wants to start talking stupid crap on this stream, comment's gonna be deleted. After that, if you get real stupid, I'll just kick you out entirely. I ain't joking. This is something that's very serious to me. So, like I said, my son, he's 22 years old. He's gone to one of the best schools in the country, Center for Discovery, and you know what? Done. You're gonna be stupid. I'm gonna kick you out. I'm serious as a heart attack, folks. And it's a tough life as it is living with autism. Not for me. I mean, it's as a parent of an autistic kid, it's rough. But to have a kid living with autism itself, I mean, I can't fathom. Like my son is so cheery at time. I mean, like I envy him. He sees the world in ways that none of us will ever see. it's phenomenal how he looks at it. He has a smile on his face. There's moments where he does have, meltdowns and everything else. And when he does, oh boy, is it going to be freaking a meltdown. But after that, it's like one of the most positive figures in my life is him. Even like people that have met him, and it's just people always say nothing positive things. I'm not trying to, I know parents brag about their kids and all that stuff, blah blah blah. What parent? If you're a parent, you don't brag about your own kid, there's something wrong. If you're not a parent, then we know why, because you don't got a kid. So after that, he's gone to a couple of different schools, and we've had to deal with people that were ignorant and stupid. The comment, there was this one time I was at a park and was like a guy made a comment because my son was like having a meltdown because we had to change his diaper, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you put that kid in the muzzle or put him down?" And I became like rage mad, like the kind of mad where I would have gone to jail for that one, because people are ignorant and not realizing that it is not the fault of the person with autism. It's not the fault of the parent. There's no definitive answer to why these kids have gotten to be autistic, and the fact that the numbers climbing. Originally, when we found out about my son being diagnosed with autism, it was like 1 in 100 and something. 2 years later, it was 1 in 61. Now I think today's statistics are saying 1 in 35 have autism, and that's crazy because this is something that we don't know what's going on. Everybody can say, "Oh, well, it's the water, it's the medicines, it's the times they get the shots, it's the inoculations. It could be hereditary." It's unknown. It is unknown. I mean, the only thing in my family that I knew of was a hearing impairment. That's it. But nobody has had autism. My son is the first in the family on both sides to have it. And for years, I would blame myself. Not even lucky my wife. I mean, my wife and I, we have our moments where we go at each other's throats, but I wouldn't give her up for the world. I wouldn't. She has put up with my BS. You guys seen what I collect. I've seen what she collects. And I put up, I put up with her, she puts up with me. But she spawned 2 beautiful boys in my life. And I give her credit. I mean, she says she's not a good mother. That woman should be, any parent that puts up with stupidity in the family has got more strength than anything else. She gets my utmost love and respect. Because as a parent of autism, it is not a perfect world. It is not all sunshines and rainbows. Wherever you see, it's like you see these videos of autistic kids, and you see mom and dad is like, but honestly, there's moments where even I snap. But we work as a team together to alternate, because you get to a breaking point where it's like you're so frustrated at the fact that this child is doing things and having meltdowns and not doing what you need, and it's like you get frustrated, they get frustrated, and it's no fault of their own. And then sometimes you forget, hey, they can't do what we can do. And then you tag out, and that's where teamwork for parents comes in and tag out. So it's really cool the fact that, I see people out there, they smile, but what you see in videos sometimes, the realistic ones are the ones where you see a kid having a meltdown and breaking stuff, not that super nanny crap that you see on TV. That's just spoiled little kids that freaking do it for ratings. I'm talking the full-blown, you're in the mall and this kid has a meltdown, and at first you're like, and everybody says the same thoughts. It's like, Jesus Christ, discipline your kid. But then you realize it's like, well, wait a minute, this kid isn't doing the normal howl or scream or temper tantrum. This kid is having a legitimate meltdown problem. It's like, and it could be over something stupid. And not even, I shouldn't even say over something stupid. It could be over anything. It could be I took my son out tonight for dinner, just to pick up takeout. And it's a buffet, and we went in, And he stopped and he went to the chair and he was like hesitant. He didn't want to go in and like pick anything to eat. So I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a meltdown session. And thankfully it wasn't. He picked out what he wanted, but he stayed distant. He kept close to me, but stayed distant and like stood like a statue. It was kind of weird. I haven't seen that in a while from him, but I think it was because he was intimidated in the environment. So it does happen where you're just like, wow, you know. So you got to keep an eye on that. He stayed close by me. Other parents have to worry about their kids running away because Ninja Bill, what's up, brother man? Yeah, tonight is because I'm Autism Awareness Month, and I already had to kick out somebody that was like, popping like saying stupid. I don't know if he was saying stupid or what the story was, but banned. So if that person's out there and you can listen. I don't have to ask you for a follow. In fact, I can. This isn't even. This stream isn't even about getting follows, guys. So if you're popping in, I'm just hanging out, chilling out. Yeah, Raz, I'm doing all right. It's just I'm doing Autism Awareness Month, and I just wanted to, this is stuff that's been on my mind. So I know you guys are like saying this is not the normal everyday UltraMegatronus stream and all that stuff, but like I said, this is something that's been on my mind, thinking about doing this kind of stream for a long time. And you know what? I just wanted to do it. What's going on, MCD? So, like I said, if you saw the title or the description, this isn't the usual group up meeting, all that stuff. This is me talking talking about autism awareness and talking about like basically what life is like. So if you guys got any questions you want to throw at me, go for it. Because a lot of people don't know what the true life is behind living in a life of an autistic person. And like I tell everybody else, if this isn't your kind of stream and you don't want to listen to it and you don't want to be part of it, that's I get it, guys. This isn't the usual thing. This is just for tonight. I just felt like kicking back and talking. So like I said, if you guys got any questions in regards to autism awareness or autism itself, feel free to throw it in the chat and all that stuff. I'll answer it as best as I can for you guys. So another thing that's tough is definitely siblings. I do have a younger son, if you guys don't know, and he kind of stays distant from his older brother because we've never lived a normal life. My family and I have never really lived a normal life. We've struggled a lot of times. So it's like we lived in our little poverty kind of situations. And, afterwards we did get established better. I got a good job. My wife works part-time and works a job of convenience, basically what she's doing. And my youngest, he grew up for a long time not understanding why we have to treat, my son differently. Yeah, Johnny, Utah. Yeah, what's going on? By the way, if I didn't say hi before, it's a challenge. It's not. It is hard, and it also depends on the severity of the autism. Like I said, my son is nonverbal and high on the spectrum, so it is a challenge. He's had his meltdowns, and it is a life. But you know what? I'm able to drive. He can't. I'm able to get. I got married. He won't. And like I said, my younger son, who grew up at first, like they were close as brothers could, but as time went on, he kind of like strayed away. Now I know he cares about him, and I know he cares about his brother, but it's like he doesn't want to acknowledge. And I talk to other people, and some people say, "Oh, that's messed up," and other people say, "No, unfortunately, that is kind of normal," because they regret not having a sibling in their life that they could have grown up with, get advice from or hang out with, that kind of thing. So it's like my son's social life. My youngest son grew up alone, even for for the rest of his years. He can't do certain things. He doesn't want to really go out and do anything and it's kind of like a crazy situation. I read Ninja's comment. My brother has 3 autistic children. God bless. God bless. One with his ex and 2 with my sister-in-law. It's never easy, never the same, something else. Every situation, just like people, are different. Yeah, absolutely. Your youngest is autistic too, not severe, but it's different and sometimes hard. Yeah. And I'll tell you guys, it is a crazy life. But the one thing is we got to be there for them. It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters but the child. Like my wife and I said flat out, if we ever got a divorce, we get a divorce, whatever, life goes on. But the one thing we both agreed on is that we are there for our son, for our kids, not just my, autistic son, but for my other son, just to set the record straight. But, definitely be him, be there for him. And like I said, the one thing I love, it's a strong relationship. You gotta have patience. And I will tell you, I am very, very, very hot-headed. I am very, I have patience on some things, but and other things I don't. I do have my mood. Sometimes I think it is hereditary, and sometimes I think I got autism, but it's not confirmed. I know I was confirmed with ADHD in the military, but as far as autism, maybe. I mean, I definitely got OCD on a lot of things. So it's like, and also too, it's like sometimes, like I become distant. Like I talk to you guys, like I get social with you guys one time, in 1 month, and then next thing you know, I'm dropping everybody. Like I don't want to deal with anybody, and I just want to set the record straight for anybody, like my friends that have joined me on the streams, and and I'm in the group chats with and all that stuff. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It is just me. I'm not gonna pull a weapon. I'm not gonna kill myself. I mean, you guys see my collection. You think for 1 second a guy that wants to commit suicide would spend that much money on Transformers and toys and shit? Hell no. I'm not going to be freaking killing myself. No freaking way. I just put too much money. Hey, Scotty, what's up, man? What's going on, man? Tonight's topic is actually Autism Awareness Month and talking autism. So if anybody wants to share, their kind of stories and all that stuff, feel free to. I mean, don't be ashamed about it. Don't feel embarrassed by it. Ask weigh on questions. The only thing I will say that if anybody is new to the chat and decides they want to do a little comedy routine, I'm going to tell you right now, you get one-time warning, and then after that, you get stupid on me, you're out. I don't care if I lose followers. I don't care if I lose subscribers. This, to me, is a very serious topic, and it means a lot to me. So all I can say is I hope that, you stick around and, chat with me in the chat, that kind of thing. It's also kind of like a mental health awareness thing as well, because it does take a strain. It does take a mental strain on you. I mean, like my mother, my son's grandmother helps out. Like I go to work, my wife goes to work, so she watches him, and he helps her out as best as he can, and she helps, make sure everything's fine with him. And there was 1 week my brother and his girlfriend had a situation with their babysitters because my kid, or the daycare that they send my nephew to, and they weren't able to watch him. So my mother ended up watching both a 1-year-old child and a 21-year-old who has the mentality of sometimes a 5-year-old. Fortunately, I was able to take a couple of days off and assist in that. Just because if you think it's crazy having an autistic child, imagine having an autistic child and a baby at the same time. Holy moly, and being elderly. So it's crazy life as it is. But hey, let me go back in there. Yeah, Johnny. Okay, Johnny says, I have autism. My sister told me I am learning to navigate. They're trying to get me diagnosed, and my mom never told me, but that's okay. Well, Johnny, I'll tell you right now. First, don't be ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed. You're not the only one out there. And if you have, and you already realize that you got a lot of friends out there that care about you and stuff. Johnny loves his truck, and if you ever want to know about why he talks about his truck too much, like so much, talk to Johnny about it. There's a reason behind it. Everybody's got a reason on why they do things, you know. Because and John, I hope I didn't overstep my bound in that. Which is like sometimes, people need to understand it's like there are reasons why we do what we do, and I got your back. I do. I'm drinking the beer, guys, because I'm just kicking back and relaxing. Both the wife and I are not neutral. But wife has autism and bipolar disorder. I have ADHD, walking depression. Yeah, like Scott. Like you have moments where like you just sit down one day, you have all this energy, you're positive, and then all of a sudden you just feel like being so antisocial and saying to hell with the world, I don't want to be a part. Like not in a suicidal sense, but like you know, like I just don't want to deal with the world. That's how I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's how I feel at times. Um, that's why this is another reason why I'm doing Autism Awareness Month and thing. Because if I do have it, because I sometimes feel like I do, um, but it's not confirmed. So I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna use that as a crutch or please subscribe to me bullshit. You know, I just sometimes I get OCD on things. Like I start something and then like there's like points on where like my wife, she gets pissed at me. I won't lie. She gets pissed where it's like she wants to try and something goes wrong. It's like, okay, I don't want to fix. Um, and I just start trying to fix it. And she's like, forget it, never mind. I just keep going and going and going. It's like, I got to solve this problem. And Raz, I didn't ignore what you just said. 2 out of the 3 are true. I don't know. I won't lie. I was like, got so involved in the conversation. 2 out of 3 are true. I mean, like I said, and I apologize if the conversation's sporadic and stuff, but yeah, I mean, there's moments where I get so fixated on finishing something, but then I ignore something else. There's days where it's like I want to be happy. I reach out to people, cheery and all that, and then there's days I just don't want to deal with anybody. And I know sometimes it makes people nervous about that because it's like hey, what's going on? You're not that type of person. Actually, I am that type of person. I am the type of person where I want to shut away from everybody. And it's nothing personal to anybody. Nobody did anything wrong. I don't want anybody to think that. It's just that's how I am. And I've been like that for years. I've had a rough life as it is myself. Bullied as a kid. Grew up mostly by myself. Been hurt multiple times by other women before my wife and everything else. Been cheated on like 3 or 4 times. I mean, by the 4th time, it got to the point where I just was like, yeah, whatever, go away. I don't care. But you live and learn. And I ended up getting lucky. And if my wife's upstairs hearing this conversation right now, because I've done like the walls kind of thing, she has no idea how much I really love her and how much I care about her, how much I appreciate what she does. So, by the way, enough about me and my wife and all that stuff. I hope you guys are having a great night. How are you guys doing this evening? Like I said, I know this isn't the normal stream. And, next week I won't be streaming because I actually got something I got to do with my son and it's WrestleMania weekend, but I won't be able to see WrestleMania, I guess, uh, because of the stuff I'm doing with my son, which is all getting my autistic. So we're going to we're doing something for the elderly in the group home. So take my son there to help out, like, spread some good cheer and all that stuff to those that have, lived a good life and living a good life and just want to, get some happiness. Because sometimes these people in the senior citizens homes don't get the love they, deserve. And, it's good that they do stuff like this to share and promote all that stuff. But if anybody, oh yeah, and Adam, thank you again. If you happen to be on stream, thank you again for Nemesis Prime. I'll show it off next time I'm on the air. I might even do one stream and all that stuff during the week, just because. So, what's going on, guys? Talk to me. Tell me something. Anybody else got experiences, and how do they? How do you take it in regard to like being around somebody with autism, or just having somebody in your life with autism? Like I said, don't feel embarrassed or shy or intimidated by anything, because I'll tell you right now that anybody that cracks a joke on that is going to get the biggest chew out of their life. If you think rage mode on UltraMegatronus was freaking something, I will go ape shit. Like I said, I take this very serious. And like what can I say? Like the one thing my son did, like maybe is that, and it's not just him too. Maybe you guys can probably still have the same answer too. Like my son would have a moment where he would only eat one specific type of food, and straight up. My friend's sister growing up was autistic and never knew until she was 25. She lived hell, had a hard time to live in society. Yeah, it's like some people, like with some autism, it's like you want to be antisocial, and some autism you want to be extra out there. So from what I was seeing on some videos, the description of what goes through the mind of somebody with autism, mild to like severe, it's like have 25 to 30 people just all of a sudden yell a conversation to each other, and it's aimed at you. That's one way to describe it, I guess, where you're just like flustered and frustrated, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? What the shit? And you just want to like, and you cover your ears and you crouch down. You just want everybody to just go away. It's like you want control, but you have no control. That's what it basically is to have autism. It's like they have control, but they don't have control. Like my son, it's like when I don't want to say like comparing him to like having a pet, because if I was to compare an autistic person like with a pet, I would say cat, because a cat has control over. It's like they make you do stuff you don't want to do, and you can do it anyway. Same thing with autistic people. It's like you're going to do stuff that you never thought you would do for them, but you can do it anyway. And it's all good. Like I said, my son will never get to drive. My son will never, he did, however, though, at his school, he did have a prom. They did do like a special needs prom and all that. So he was there, and they had like, there was this like little cute girl that was there. She was fully blown autistic too, and he was always a ladies' man at school. I'm like, my God, it's like if he didn't have autism, he'd be freaking Don Juan de la Nuche. It's just funny that I think, but I am so proud because he originally, when he was going to special needs school, he started off this one school, Inspire, and it was absolute garbage. So if anybody lives in like the Goshen area, do not send your kid to the Goshen Inspire. I'll tell you right off. Garbage. Unless they change the people and they got a better rating, but don't send them there. Then they did one called Abilities First when we moved to Highland at the time, and it was in Wapager's Falls, which is ironic at the fact that my son, special needs, is now going to a school district I used to go to, and he ended up sitting a fire truck that I used to ride in years ago. And it was just like pretty cool that they had that and they did that for the kids. So it's like I got that picture of my son in the fire truck, and that like melted my heart. I was like, I never thought I'd see that. And then afterwards, moved up here, went to a school in Kingston called Center for Spectrum Services. He transitioned out at 8. Actually, no, we moved and he transitioned, but that school was so phenomenal. And I thank those people at Center for Spectrum Services for working with my son. And definitely, if anybody, appreciate the people that work with special needs. They do go out of their way, and they're human too. Because I actually had a conversation with them, and I said to them, was like, you're dealing with special needs kids all day, like all day for 5 straight days, like just like the parents deal with them every day. It's like, don't you have your moments where you just want to go, and lash out? And they honestly said yes. In fact, what we do is that we start to see one of our aides or one of our teachers start to get frustrated, we tell them, hey, take a 5 to like regroup, because it is something big. It is something that affects people. It's a mind game. Autism is the biggest mind game of all, because you got to figure out like where are they going next, what are they thinking, what do they want to eat, what do they want to wear, that kind of thing. And like I said, my son, he's on the severe, but he's not he's not extreme. Like originally everybody was saying was like, he's on the extreme. No, he's on the severe side of autism. Extreme side of autism is literally there's no point of no return. Like it's constant lash outs, it's constant like physical abusive contact. It's just to the point where the parent has to surrender their child early in life to put them in a facility so somebody else can take care of them. In fact, one of the aides that worked with my son in Spectrum Services years ago had 2 daughters that was on the spectrum, and they were to the point where, like the one I was told, the one eldest daughter had to be put in placement at 14 years of age because she broke her father's arm, and the younger one, who I actually transported and was always good, has always behaved well with me, but as she got older, I guess things started changing. Her mother couldn't handle it, and she ended up breaking her mother's arm at one point, and she had no choice but to put her in a residential as well, and she was like 15, 16. And that's the one thing I'll say this much about your kids. Like, if you got kids that are like living a regular, normal life and all that stuff, sometimes you're like, man, I can't wait till they get out of the house. And, oh God, they get their own place and all that stuff. Mom gets all emotional, dad. It's like, yeah, I'll help you pack your car. Special needs is a whole different beast, because you are surrendering. Like, if the day we have to put our son into a special needs facility, a residential, we have to research it so much. And I'll tell you right now that anybody that is involved with special needs, and if you know your child needs to live in a residential, please research it to the best of your ability. Talk to people that they're in that situation as well, because you don't want to put your child in a place that's gonna, like my biggest thing, I'm neurotic about this too, is if I die, what will happen to my son? What if, if my wife and I were to die tomorrow, what would happen to my son? Like he's got uncles, he's got aunts, but they're not really prepared to handle a special needs adult. They're not really, like, they live in different areas of the world. Like, one lives in Massachusetts, one lives in upstate New York, one lives in Pennsylvania. My brother lives 20 minutes from me, but he's got his own child. And the hardest part is, and my brother-in-law lives like 10 minutes away from me. Hardest part is like, what would happen if myself and my wife would have passed away? What would happen to my son? Like, the government's going to take care of him. He's already locked in on that. But it's just the thoughts and, like, I don't want to say nightmares, but it's just the processing of what's going to happen. Who's going to take care of my son? Are they going to treat him nice and fair? I mean, my son is a good-hearted kid. He really is. I mean, if I've never shown you pictures, like, I got pictures of my son on Facebook, and it's just, I worry what will happen. What if? Because one thing about society is that there's good people and there's bad people, and when it comes to this kind of stuff, I've seen and heard stories about, special needs being taken advantage of. And, like I said, everybody's not perfect. Not even myself. Growing up in high school and all that stuff, I wasn't cruel, but it would be like, sometimes I made fun of special needs, but I didn't understand it at the time. I was a stupid teenager. My senior years when it really kicked in, and I was like, why am I making stupid comments and making fun of people? Why don't I just understand it better? And And more, that year I was just like, I defended him more than anything else. So cold beer helps out a lot too. Well, for everybody that decided to stick with me this long, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me on this one. It does mean a lot. It's just, tonight was one of these nights where I just was like, I just needed to talk about something. I needed to talk about something totally different. Nothing toy related, nothing movie related, nothing comedy related, just something, you know, that's I wanted to share with everybody. My job isn't to bring people together. And that's the one thing, guys. You guys already knew each other before I even came into the picture. You guys have already hooked up, hanging out. I am just a guy who decided to say, hey, let me give this a shot. What's going on, Big M? Yeah, this isn't a normal stream tonight, brother. We're talking. This is Autism Awareness Month, and I'm just talking about experiences and what I go through with my son being autistic and all that stuff. And like I told everybody else, I get it. This isn't the kind of stream you want to deal with. I get it. I understand. Appreciate you popping in. But if you want to share any autistic stories and all that stuff, you're more than welcome to. Like I said, if anybody's got questions in regards to what I go through, go ahead, shoot me a question. This isn't an evening interview with me. It was, because I know a lot of people. The one thing a lot of people do is get a little bit intimidated in regards to like, what do I ask? What can I say that isn't going to upset or embarrass the hell out of me and all that stuff. So, if you got any questions about autism and all that stuff, Danny, I'll tell you this, and I've said this to you before. All I said was, "Hey, what's up? Join in the stream. You got talent. Get back into the game." That's it. I didn't dig you out of a hole. I just threw the, I'm not even going to say I threw the rope. Everybody makes a choice on what they do. Everybody makes a decision if they want to get out of that hole or not. In the end, it's just a voice saying, hey, it's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. I don't take any credit for anything, whether it be the group up meetups and all that stuff, the hangouts. Everybody has to make that choice in life. I don't like being that person, I just don't feel that way. I never did. I don't like getting credit for anything. That's just the type of person I am. I'd rather help than, get the glory. Silent, that's why I guess I get, I don't know. It's like I get, can't stand when, thank you. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. Thank you. I appreciate the credit, but honestly, I don't deserve it. I don't want it. And, we're a community. We all make choices to whether we're going to hang out or not. I'm taking the swing. And I'm still getting new shelving and all that stuff, so I'm kind of reorganizing my background and stuff on my shelves. I'm not done quite yet. I got a lot more to go. It's like a little bit at a time. And aside from that, what else did I get? What did I pick up this week? Oh, I ended up getting Outback. So I found it at Walmart. I would have picked up Wheelie, but I looked at his face and I just was like, I mean, I should have gotten it, but I didn't. Oh, back to autism. So my son also, he loves WWE wrestling. He loves wrestling for a reason. He actually impersonates like all the people's intros. It's funny as hell when he does the Undertaker. He does the whole thumb across the throat and tongue sticking out. And I'm jealous of my son. I am so jealous of my son because he's got that freaking Undertaker tongue. I'm like, I got that round stupid tongue. He's got that freaking long Gene Simmons lick you up kind of freaking tongue, and I'm like jealous, totally jealous. Loves Roman Reigns, loves uh, like Cody Rhodes and all that stuff. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, he also loves doing puzzles. Puzzles are definitely something that he gets into. Yeah, there's other things he likes doing too. He plays Xbox. You have to put it on. I have to put the game on super easy, but it's like he it shares the accomplishments of beating a game, like especially a WWE game when he does the pinfall and he's the winner. It's like he has this, like his face lights up with full of excitement, and it's like really cool. What else is there? Anybody got something they want to bring in the chat? You can. Please just, like I said, it's not a Transformer chat. It's not a toy chat. If anybody's got something. If not, I'm probably going to head off in a couple of minutes anyway. Just because, like I said, just tonight for some reason, the last couple, like 2 days, I was like, okay, I'm going to bring I'm going to invite people in. And then this just hit me, and I was like, you know what? I need to get this off my chest. I need to talk about something totally different. And like I said, I don't know. This is probably one of the most boringest streams to anybody else. Who the hell wants to talk about autism? Well, guess what I do? And I have no regrets of doing this stream whatsoever. I don't care if people have negative thoughts on it, because it's a topic that is very dear to my heart. This is Autism Awareness Month. And you may, I ordered out tonight. I'm busy eating. Made some stuffed pork chops. Cool deal, man. Pork chops are good. I'm an asshole, Danny. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a freaking prick. I really am. I mean, I'm surprised you're actually friends with me. I'm surprised a lot of you guys are still friends with me, because like teriyaki asparagus and mashed taters, nice. Nice. I mean, seriously, I really am an asshole, though. I really am. I mean, I go through my mood swings. I go through, I don't know if it's midlife crisis or just, I've done this even before I was like younger. I'm surprised. And I'm beginning to see some, I understand why one of my girlfriend. What, you guys think I was going to ditch you? I'm an asshole, but I'm not that big of an asshole. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I'll say about this community. Thank you, Matt. At least you're truthful. You son of a bitch. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, your brother. This is straight to Matt though. Ghost Max. So your brother came up to me. He's like, dude, Matt said that you're 54 years old. Is that true? Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I had to show him my license. So that's it. I'm stuck. Yeah. Okay, I'm stuck with you guys. But you do realize I'm not stuck with you. You're stuck with me. Your expiration date had a fit and ran away. Wow. Another thing I wanted to talk about too was like the whole growing up, collecting and being the oddball of the group kind of situation. Like everybody, like, we've all gone through that. I mean, I got lucky in middle school because, in fact, Raz would have loved my crew. We used to do Dungeons and Dragons in middle school, and we actually did it where we created our own characters and did like battle fights between each other. And then it's just like we didn't really have like the book. It was kind of like a renegade version of D&D. So it's like everybody, like, one had an elf. I ended up with Iron Man. I survived for a while with some of the fights. Some guy had a ninja. So it was like sporadic. I don't know. You know what it is? It's. You know what? Because Ghostmax said, "Yeah, it's crazy thing. I look younger than I really am." Stereotype joke. It's grease because everybody picks on Puerto Ricans and be like, "Oh, y'all guys are greasy. That's why we're so young." Grease to us is embalming fluid to the dead. So we ain't going nowhere anytime soon, folks. I'm hoping if it is going to Baltimore next year, guys, Ghost Max is going to take the trip with me. So you guys will get to see Ghost Max in the flesh. At least I hope you get to see him in the flesh, because if you don't, then he'll live his name out in its entirety. That'd be creepy. Cool, but creepy. Mm. And I'm definitely excited for TFCon Orlando for sure. I have a truck rented, and room's already locked in place. Already got my tickets. So you guys are probably the ones that are going. You know who you are stoked and excited about that. And like Raz, I don't blame you for flying, because it was 9 hours for you to get from your home to freaking Baltimore. It'd be like a day and a half just to get to freaking Florida for you. I guess that means I'll be there in spring. Wah, wah, wah. But that's true. But I wouldn't put rim shot, dude. That kind of sounds like creepy, freaky, freaky diggy weird. Oh. What time is it? It's 47, 48 minutes into this conversation. I'm surprised people lasted with me this long. So I guess, anybody got questions? Like I said, you guys want to ask me any questions about what goes on with myself and my son in regards to his autism, or like anything specific that may help you out with experiencing somebody else. Yeah, I'm no musician. Hell, be lucky if I hit a cowbell. But then again, needs more cowbell, right? Well, it could have been worse, Matt. I could have said rim job. You know how my vision is, but I wouldn't say that. Well, I already said it. Never mind. Shit. The inside joke. But again, seriously, I mean, to all of you guys that already know living through autism and all stuff. Sorry, I deleted that comment, but I am not talking. I wasn't really talking about Transformers and stuff like that. So, no disrespect. Like I said, this is about autism. This is about just everything outside of the toy realm. So, all due respect, nothing against that comment, but not tonight. I'm not feeling it, and I will delete any other comment outside of the conversation itself. And I'm probably going to get off in about 10 minutes anyway, because can't really talk too much about this topic. I mean, they got a month dedicated to it, so. Yeah, I know, Matt. I know, but well, somebody had to do it. No, I just want to, I guess, I think I'll just get ready to cut this night short and all that stuff. And I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to hang out and listen to me talk about this kind of thing. And for you to see wow. Yeah, I'm not going though. I'm not going. But just want to thank everybody for hanging out with me for for this a long time, and thank you, Quentin, for being understanding about that. In fact, if it makes you feel better, because I gotta be fair. If I did it to you, I gotta do it to somebody else. Sorry, Ghost Max, that comment had to go away. I meant what I said. But again, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. This was kind of like a different thing, obviously. I am not streaming next weekend. Like I said, I got some stuff going on with my son, and it's WrestleMania weekend at the same time. So that's the kind of thing that my son and I will be doing. But we got some outside stuff we're doing before that. So I'm kind of glad, ESPN. I can play. We do replays and all that stuff. So, and like I said, just remember, like, be out there. If you see somebody with autism and all that stuff, just understand that their life, when you think you got it bad, they may have it great, and they have it rough. But sometimes I envy these guys. I envy the autistic because they see the world in a way that I will never be able to see it, and a lot of us won't be able to see. So, all right, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. And again, thank you for hanging out and taking the time and just listening to what I have to say. We'll get back to our crazy, insane antics in 2 weeks, unless I bring up something. Oh man, yeah. So I understand that too, man. And Quinn, you're the first one I actually put a comment on. I wasn't putting anything on there, but aside from that, guys, remember, just take a look. Treat everybody equally, right? That kind of thing. And I will talk to you again soon. Maybe I'll do unboxing kind of thing. So again, guys, thanks very much. And even though this wasn't the stream that normally is, always remember that you're never too old to feel too young. And when it comes to collecting anything in life, collect life experiences itself. Take care and love you guys. Talk to you soon.